I've got some tips today that may save you some money, and who knows, it may actually save your life. So we're going to talk about your awnings, talk about your tires, and talk about the GFCI outlets in your RV. So stay tuned. Well, for those of you that follow my YouTube channel, you know that I put information out about RVs and sometimes for new RV owners. And this is primarily for the new owner or someone that hasn't been in their RV for a while. I know some of you folks will store them for 6 months at a time and come back out, and you just need to relearn some of the things, refresh your memory. So we're going to be talking about the awnings, and there's two primary types of awnings: the manual awnings, which you have to pull out, get the arms extended, pull the awning down, get it secured, and then the electronic awnings. So we'll talk a little bit about both of those. We're also going to talk about the GFCI outlets in the RV. They frequently become an issue when you trip one and you're not sure how to reset it. So we're going to talk about that and what you might find. And lastly, tires. I see a lot of questions on the internet, on forums, on Facebook about tires. What pressure to put in your tires, when to inflate your tires, how often to check, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. This is a typical GFCI outlet. You'll have these in the kitchen and a bathroom, on the outside of your RV, any place that there could be water. And in one location you'll have a outlet which is the control for all the others. I'll show you that next. One of the outlets will be the control for the others. You can tell the difference because it will have a reset and test button there, and if the circuit has tripped, there'll be an LED light that comes on. So if your GFCI outlets are tripped, go to this control outlet. Mine is located in the bathroom, and I suspect yours would be also. And press the reset button, and it should reset all of the outlets and be good to go. If your outlets don't reset, check your breaker panel, because there might be a breaker in there that controls all of them. In my case, I have a 15-amp breaker that sometimes trips, and I'll have to reset that. If you have outlets on the exterior of your unit, they will also be GFCI outlets. If any of the outlets accumulate moisture, they will trip the entire circuit, and you'll have to dry that moisture out. You could try using a hair dryer to dry some of the moisture out. One of the most misunderstood items in an RV is the awning. And the awning is something that can get you in trouble real quick. You may have an electronic awning such as this, or you may have something that is manual. I've had both, and there's something to be learned about both of those to prevent your awning from getting damaged. Primarily, these types of awnings here, which are the electronic kind, have these arms that pivot, which will help dissipate the accumulation of water as you get water on your awnings. If you have a manual awning, hopefully someone's already told you that you need to keep one side of that lower than the other so that the water will have a way to roll off of that awning. If it starts to build up on top of that awning, it will split your awning and tear it up. I got caught in the situation last week with high winds. I was across the park here at the laundry, and all of a sudden a storm came up, and by the time I got back over here to put the awning in, it was quite a struggle. The wind had gotten up under the awning and was actually trying to pull the awning back out. So a rule of thumb, and please follow this, that anytime you leave your RV, if you're going to dinner, if you're going on a bike ride or anything, always bring your awning in. Do not leave your awning unattended. And you certainly do not want to leave it out overnight. An awning is a very expensive replacement, $1,000, $2,000. So a little attention to the awning can save you some money in the long run. Frequently, RV tires don't get enough attention. It's a very important part of your traveling. experience, and if you don't take care of your tires, you're going to be doomed for some blowouts, or maybe even worse than that. So basically, let's talk about inflation. And you have stamped on the side of your tire is going to be a maximum inflation, and that's what you want to set it at when you're towing. On these tires here, they are 110 pounds, and you want to set that while the tire is cold, or at least the coolest part of the day before you get started driving. So get it set to the maximum inflation, and as the tire is run down the road, it's going to heat up and the tire pressure is going to go up, but that's okay. These tires are made to take that increase in pressure. So for example, these tires here are rated for 110 max. I set them at 110 pounds before I start the trip in the morning and let them go. You don't want to be letting air out as your tire heats up. Do not let air out. If your tire is an 80 PSI max, that's what you'd want to set in the mornings or before you go. Before the tires are ever rolled for that day, set them at your 80 PSI and you're good to go the entire day. Now, if you do not set them properly, there's a couple of things that can happen. If you overinflate your tires, then you're going to start wearing your tires out quicker. If you underinflate your tires, what will happen is the sidewalls will flex, meaning that they're going to bend in and out as the tire rotates. That's going to create excessive heat, and then you're going to have a failure in your belts or in the tire, and there could be a separation of the tire. So underinflation is, in my opinion, probably worse than overinflation, but just set your tires each morning, check them. Now on my tire, you can see that I have a tire pressure monitoring system, which is this right there, and I can be sitting in my truck, turn on the TPS and check the tire pressure each morning. It also checks the temperature, and as I'm running down the road, if there were a flat or a tire going low, I would get an indicator on my monitor inside the truck. You can pick those systems up for anywhere from $200 and up. There may be some that's cheaper than that I'm just not aware of, but you can find them on Amazon and different places. So I do highly recommend those, something you might want to look into. And your tow vehicle tires are no different. They'll have a max pressure rating on the side of the tire. Usually the rear is higher than the front, but go by the manufacturer's recommendation. And if you're running the original type of tire that came on the vehicle, look inside the driver's door frame on the door post, and it'll give you the tire pressure readings there. Of course, if you've changed to different size tires, you need to stick with what is embossed on the side of your tire there for pressure. Some people reduce the pressure in their tires when they are not towing and then inflate back up when they are towing. It might give a smoother ride when you're just using your tow vehicle as a daily driver. So that's something to consider. Well, if you like this video, or if you feel like you got some benefit out of these tips, please click that like button. And oh, by the way, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now, and I'll really appreciate it. So from beautiful Marathon, Florida, until next time, thanks for watching.